You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
And welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz, your host. Well, energy prices heading up, but the CPI is not going up as fast. I guess you should feel very good about that. But what's really happening in the energy patch? Here with us now is our good friend, Dee Carter. Dee, welcome back. So energy is hot once again, although nat gas is still trading at very depressed levels. What's your take?
Well, we're looking at, when you take a look at the West Texas Intermediate, and that's what most people look at when you talk about production of oil and that type of energy. Energy, of course, Kerry, as you well know, covers all kinds of things, even including green energy nonsense. But we're more concerned right now about what's happening with the oil industry and with the petroleum industry and where it's heading and what's going to happen in the coming months. Of course, the president just decided to sell another 26 million barrels of our oil, or at least put it out there where people can buy it. And the whole idea there is to try to keep the prices from getting back up to $4 a gallon for gasoline, which I think it's probably going to go to when the summertime hits. The reason we're not consuming as much right now is because we had such an icy winter. People aren't traveling, people aren't driving, they're not using as much gasoline, and that's part of the problem. That's the reason the prices have gone down. But the prices will go back up at the pump. We're right now sitting on about 550 well drilling units in West Texas out of the 700 that you have around the country. And of those, they're all operating at full blast. Our biggest problem here, Kerry, and again, you know this as well as anyone, probably better than most because of the way you do that and cover this as well as you do, is the fact that we don't have any refineries. We've got like 5 major refineries that we're trying to, and they're all working at 100% capacity right now. So what do you do when you got the oil that you're trying to drill and pump it out of the ground, but you got no place to get it refined into gasoline? So what it does, it goes and sits in tanks. We got tank batteries around West Texas that are full right now of oil. So we're doing okay in that regard. But because the gasoline has not been consumed, it has been, we're doing a lot of heating oil up in the east, as you well know from this last blast they had last 2 weeks or so. But that doesn't cover what the gasoline is. Gasoline is the number one thing that comes out of petroleum. So when you're not using the gasoline, the cost goes down, the supplies go up, and that's where we're sitting right now. Where we're going in the future is a good question.
All right. Well, when you figure out the answer, I hope you'll let me know. But refining capacity, we haven't built a new refinery in the United States in 50 years. Now, what we have done, though, is actually massively expand the refineries that we do have, and they've kind of become super refineries.
Yeah, we've added some capacity in Texas in the last year or two, down in the Beaumont area of Texas on the Gulf Coast. They added one, but it's only like a 25 million gallons barrels a day gasoline. It's not going to make that much difference. It's just a little an additional. But we haven't really added, as you will put, we haven't added a refinery in many, many, many years. And the reason is people aren't investing in that. If you were told that that the government's pushing green energy and they're pushing electric cars and they're pushing all this other stuff that we see in the wind energy and that sort of thing, solar energy, then you would be probably not quite so quick to drop your money into investing into building a refinery. And that's one of the problems we've got. The government has got a lot of people running scared from investing in the oil business because they feel like the oil. Now, even though the president said in his State of the Union president speech, which everybody laughed at, which I thought was interesting, that we're going to be probably using petroleum products for at least the next 10 years. Well, Mr. President, we're going to be using petroleum products for a long time, but petroleum products are more than gas. It takes, and gasoline and that sort of thing. There's 6,000 products that are manufactured using petroleum. So we're not getting out of the petroleum industry. In fact, most of these windmills have gasoline or diesel engines to keep them going. And when they build one of those things, guess what? They use trucks that run on gasoline to build the windmills. They're using trucks that run on gasoline to do the mining Everything that we're doing is built around the petroleum industry. So it's not going anywhere. What we need to do is get back to what we were doing about 4 years ago and be an exporter of products. And that will bring that CPI up that you mentioned a minute ago. It'll bring the consumer price index up. It'll bring everything back to where it should be and where it was just 3 short years ago.
Right. I couldn't agree with you more. And, but I think these people really have no clue what they're doing. And really, it's just, we still haven't been able to build another refinery. They wanted to.
No.
They tried, but they can't do it. Even in North Dakota, I think the Saudis offered to just build one for free, and they still couldn't do it.
That's exactly right, because of the regulations. The regulations are so strict. Even if you have the money to build it, and the Saudis did offer to build one, you're absolutely right. They did offer to build one in North Dakota, but the regulations for putting up a new refinery, government regulations, were so strict that they could not do it. So the government is keeping a tight hold on what we're doing as far as the petroleum industry is concerned, and it's pulling down the economy in the same way. The economy flows with the petroleum products. That's just the way it has been for years and years and years. When petroleum is working well, the price of gasoline is hovering around $80. Oil is hovering around $80 a barrel right now. I think it was $78.41 yesterday afternoon. I haven't checked this morning, but it's hovering around $80 a barrel. The companies can make a nice profit and still provide the product at $70 to $75 a barrel. So they're in that area right now to where they can do well if the government would release them to do their jobs and go to the places that we need to be drilling and open up the areas that actually have oil. A lot of the leases that they talk about having out there have no oil on them. There's leases. You can get a lease anywhere, but it's got to have petroleum under the ground to make it worth anything.
Yeah, so true. Could not agree with you more there, Dee. So what can we do about it?
Don't just survive, thrive. The Financial Survival Network.
Osino Resources is a Ross Beatty-backed gold exploration company in mining-friendly Namibia. Osino's district-scale land package is situated near 2 producing gold mines, one of which Osino's management team previously developed and sold to B2 Gold. Osino's founders and management are experienced mining professionals who have already successfully developed and sold 2 companies in the past 7 years. Osino has an excellent shareholder base, with Ross Beatty owning 20%, insiders 5%, and Resource Capital Funds 8%. This is an exploration company with drills turning that you'll definitely want to pay attention to. Osino trades in New York under the ticker OSIIF and in Toronto under the ticker OSI. To learn more, go to osinoresources.com. That's osinoresources.com.
This is the Financial Survival Network, the information you need to thrive now more than ever.
We can get a new regime in Austin and in D.C. I mean, we've got people that need to wake up and see what's going on and get us back to where we need to be and where we were. And the only way to do that is get people that understand that you can't turn off the number one energy tool in the world, which is petroleum, and just automatically go straight to electricity. I think you would agree with me, Kerry, that probably within the next 20 years, we're going to see a tremendous increase in the capacity of the electrical vehicle, and we're going to see probably some new arrangements and some new developments that will allow the car to go and the trucks to go more than 300 miles without having a overnight recharge. So once that happens, that's one thing, but we can't jump from one to the other immediately and expect it to work, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. The green energy people are literally stopping the economy of the country by moving too quickly into something that I think will probably down the road be acceptable and will be probably take the forefront, but you can't do it all at once.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, right. We know this is a pipe dream, the electrification. Maybe it's going to happen in another 30 years. In the meantime, what are we supposed to do here? And they seem to have no answers whatsoever.
Well, whenever you have the kind of people that are running the government right now, you've got in nearly every department of the government, if you go back and check, the ones that are heading those departments are totally unqualified to head the department. We got people that literally have no experience trying to run departments in the federal government. Department of Transportation comes to mind.
The butt guy, right?
Yeah. And we've got there's other departments up there that have people that And they are now nominating people in the Senate for places in the Department of Energy and other the places that have no background in energy or any other field. As far as I'm concerned, they're simply being nominated because they made a lot of contributions to the Congress and to the people that are sitting in the Senate and to the president. So we need to eliminate. Let's get the politics out of the situation so the American people can get the kind of resources they need when they need it at the price that is worthwhile. So to me, the solution is a political solution as much as anything else.
Yeah, and political. Yeah, well, our politicians are fresh out of solutions, don't you think, Dee?
Oh, I don't think there's no question about that. Not only are they fresh out, they have no way of knowing that they are fresh out. The problem we've got is people ran out of ideas, or they've never had a good idea, and they don't realize that the ideas they've got don't work. So what we need to do is at least get the people back to where we can understand what's going on. And I'm not sure that's going to happen in my lifetime or your lifetime, but if it doesn't happen within at least the next few years, we're going to find ourselves on the very short end of a stick with trying to develop energy sources that aren't developable, if that's a good word, that are not. We're not ready for it just yet. Let's let things move in the path that they're supposed to move in the progress that we should be making, but let's don't push things completely out of kilter to where nothing's working, and that's basically where we are right now.
Yeah, well, what about this unique concept here, Dee, of letting the market decide, letting the market dictate the transition? Is that totally crazy?
No, in fact, that's exactly right. That's not only common sense. That's what's called common sense, Kerry. And unfortunately, we live in a world and a time when common sense has gone out the door. But yeah, that would be the perfect. Let the market decide. That's the way that we've built this country to where we are today, is letting the market decide. That's called capitalism, and it works exceptionally well. And when you're trying to get rid of capitalism and install something else in its place, you're going to find everything come grinding to a halt. And that's what we're seeing right now. It's a slow grind, but it is grinding to a halt all around us. I've got some clients that are concerned about their retirement money because they don't know what's going to happen with the cryptocurrencies and with the digital money and that sort of thing. There's just ideas out there right now. It's just not time, or they're pushing things way ahead of what we're ready to accept and what we're ready to accomplish. We can't do it all right now.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself here. So in the meantime, what are you supposed to do?
Well, in the meantime, you're going to have to hunker down and make sure you got everything where you want it, and put things on hold for a lot of things. I've told my clients that at my age, I don't go out and exercise like I used to. And I think that right now, because of my age, I might hurt myself. And the same thing is with people that are investing right now. We don't need to be investing like we have in the past, because we've got things that are really messing us up to keep us out of that. So we need to be rethinking our investment strategies, maybe pulling them in and moving more toward income as opposed to growth, getting away from some of the old growth things and the value things and start talking about income. And there's still some really good investments out there in the petroleum industry. There's some small companies that are doing a great job that have been Diamondback, the president here in Midland, and he's talking about some things they're doing, which they're doing some great things. Pioneer Resources are doing some great things. There's some things out there that are worthwhile to look at. But I'm telling my clients we need to be a little bit more conservative right now, because we need to see what the government's going to do, and don't throw good money after bad.
Could not agree with you more, Dee. Hey, Dee, want to connect with you on the web, want to find out more about you? How do you do that?
Yeah, just go to carterfinancial.com, carterfinancialincome.com. That's what it is, carterfinancialincome.com. And you can take a look at us on there and see what we do and how we do it here in West Texas. We have clients all over the country right now, and we're glad to do it. You might want to go to Amazon to get a hold of a copy of my book. It's Now or Never. It's got some really good ideas in there that will help you with your income situation and developing your retirement. But that's the best way to get hold is read the book, or to get with us at carterfinancialincome.com and just see what you can do. And send us an email. We'll respond to it and answer your questions the best we possibly can.
All right. Sounds good to me, Dee. Hey, got a question for Dee myself? Shoot us an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. Don't forget, go to the site, financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Sign up for your free newsletter. Dee, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for stopping by.
You bet. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.